Alright, and we are back, and we are going to add collision detection. Let's go ahead and run that. And so when we talk about collision detection, we can see that the black ball is kind of passing right through the purple pipes. Nothing happening, right? Nothing cares. So it's just going right through it. And so what we want to be able to do is we want to be able to, like, if we hit a pipe, we would like to kind of restart the game. Right, and so this is what restarting the game looks like right now. We're restarting it. Everything's going back to their starting spots, right? But, well, we need to be able to tell, well, kind of like what are we going to hit, right? Well, we've got the top portion, we've got the bottom portion, and I'll have an image up on the screen right here with kind of all the variable names and where the things are at. But what we really want to do, we want to be able to say, well, if our ball is in this gap, like, don't do anything, which is to say that if our ball is hitting the top purple portion, we want to restart, and if our ball is hitting the bottom purple portion, we want to restart. And so how do we tell when do we start looking? Well, we can start looking because our ball is going up and down, but it's actually never going side to side. So our y value, no, our x value of the ball, which is the side to side value, is never really changing. And so we can do a check. We can say, well, if the pipe's x value is less than, because less than is towards the left in, here, it gets, the 0, 0 point is the top left corner of the canvas. And so if the pipe's x value, which is the left side of the pipe, is less than the ball's x value plus its radius, then it's able to hit it right there, right? And if it's within the pipe, right? So that's the horizontal thing. That's where we're going to start. We also want to see if it's afterwards, right? So if the pipe's x value plus the pipe's width is less than the ball's x value minus the ball's radius, then the pipe has passed us to the left, right? And I'll have graphics up so that we can demonstrate that. And then that'll work. The x values will work for the top or the bottom pipe, so that is good. The next thing we want to do is be able to say, well, if this gap is the safe spot, then we need to know the ball's y value, right? And we need to compare that in a similar fashion to the y value of our pipe, but our pipe doesn't really have a y value. We have two values, though, in our pipes that are important. We have the pipe height, which is the location from the top pipe to the start of the gap, and then we have the gap width, which is how much gap there is before the bottom pipe starts. And so we can compare the y value of the ball to that pipe height and the pipe gap in the same format that we compared the x value, right? And if we are good, which is to say, we're actually going to check for collision. We're not going to check if we're good. We're going to check if we're bad. If we are hitting, then we can call a new function like reset. And in the reset function, we can have it set all of our starting values over again. We can change our ball y position back to our starting y position. We can clear the array of our pipes, and we can probably, that might be enough. Oh, we might need to change the gravity as well, because if we're going down and down and down and down and we don't actually change the gravity, that actually sounds like fun. So we won't change the gravity at first, but then we will, because it makes it more playable. And so, yeah, that'll be the collision detection. Now, the opposite, right, is if we pass the collision, or if we pass through it without getting a collision, then we might say, okay, cool, we got a point, right? And that would be how we check the score, right? If we can survive the collision, then we get the score, and that is good. That's good, because we could have a score. We could put it up there and it could count how many we could get through. And so yeah, let's go ahead and start that. Let's go ahead and start programming that. So The first thing we're going to need to do is come down into our update function. This is where our drawing of the pipes are happening. We could make this for loop its own function, call it draw pipes, right? And then we could draw the pipes. You know what? In fact, let's do that. Let's just do that. Function draw pipes. That'll work. And then we'll just put all this into there. That looks great. And then we can just say something like draw pipes. And if we've done this, again, nothing's really changed. It still all works. Everything's still all happy. So we're doing just fine, right? Yeah, looks like we're still getting pipes when we should be getting pipes. Pipes are still showing up. So happy with that. And it makes this update function a little bit easier to see, right? In fact, these two bits right here, the bird Y gravity thing, we could say something like update bird, right? Instead of draw bird, we could be all like move bird, you know, and call another function called move bird. But it's just 2 lines and I don't care enough right now. So I do, though, want to do some collision detection. And so I could, just like I did here, draw pipes, I could say detect collision, right? And then here in my detect collision section, we could just have a function and we can call it detect collision. 2 L's apparently in collision. I guess I spelled it like that. I don't really know if it's spelled like that. Spelling's not really my strong suit. I should probably learn to spell better. Here we go, function detect collision. So what we're going to check is, just like we did before, you saw those images, we are going to check the first thing. Let's actually add a couple of comments here. Comments help us. They help us know what the heck is happening. First check the X locations. Then check the Y locations. Okay. And so the first is an if statement, right? And again, we need to check the bird. We're checking the bird. No, we should check the pipe. We should check the pipe. And this is going to be, you know, as we look at our pipe here, right? Our last pipe, as it stands right now, is pipe 0. So this is pipe 0 every time. Let me rerun that. Oh, I can't rerun it because I'm in the middle of code. I just broke it. That's fine. Every time we are running this up here for our drawing a pipe, we're using I, which is going through the length of our pipe array. But the first value in our pipe array is pipe 0. And right now, pipe 0 is the one that we're going to be worried about hitting, right? Yeah, we could stack up those pipes so that they're like right on top of each other, and pipe 0 might have passed us and we might actually be dealing with like pipe 1 or pipe 2. But right now, the way our pipes are spaced out, we're dealing with pipe 0. So we're just going to use pipe 0 right now, and we're going to worry about the X value. So if pipe 0 X value is, let's say, less than or equal to the bird, and we want the X value of the bird plus the bird's radius. Is that right? Yeah, plus, you know what, let me just put bird X right there. This isn't going to do the full bird. This is only doing the center of the, you know what, let's do plus radius, because we want it to go all the way, and it's called bird radius. So we'll have some spaces here. Bird radius. Okay. If the X value of pipe 0 is less than or equal to the bird X plus the bird radius, then we want to do a thing, right? Then we want to check for the Y collisions. Bam. Now, that's good. It'll see if we're hitting it the first time, but we also want to go past it, right? And so we need an and statement in here. We only want to check to see if it's also our pipe 0 dot X needs to be greater. No, our pipe 0 dot X plus the width, which is pipe width. I think we called that variable pipe w though up top, with a lowercase pipe. Pipe w, that's the pipe width. Let's put this in a parenthesis so that we don't get confused. Now let's put this in a parenthesis, and this is just helping us, the human, read this a little bit later. Okay, now we got two parentheses right there. Okay, and that's fine. Okay, so the pipe x plus the pipe w, which is the right side of the pipe, has to be greater than or equal to the bird x minus the bird radius, which is the left side of the bird, right? So bird x minus bird radius. That feels good to me. That feels like it knows what it's doing. Okay, so now that's our x, right? So if our pipe is where our bird is, and again, we could check if we were worried about which pipe was going to hit us or what pipe was going to hit us, we could put this into another loop. You know, we could check whichever pipe we expected to be hit. So, but we don't need to right now. So now we need to do another if statement that's going to look a lot like this if statement, but it's going to deal with the y value. Okay, so if, and we're going to use so the y values are the pipe 0 dot height. That's the top of the, well, it's the bottom of the top pipe, or it's the top of the gap, right? It's the pipe, and it's 0 here, dot height, and that value needs to be less than, right? Well, yeah, if it's, well, hold on. What are we actually checking here? We're going to check to see where the bird is in relation to the pipe, right? And before we were checking the pipe in relation to the bird because the bird was staying put, right? But now it's the pipe, the gap that's staying put effectively, and we're checking to see if it's the bird. So let's rearrange the way we think about this. Let's talk about it in the terms of bird to pipe. So we're going to go bird y. So if the bird y is less than, yeah, bird y, the top of it is going to be minus bird radius. That's better. If that's less than, it'll be pipe 0 dot height. It's less than that. Yeah, okay, that's the top. Or, and here we're going to have an or. This is the, so this to and %, that's the shift 7 key, or this is the two upright lines, and this is the shift / key. It's the key above the enter bar. And now if our bird y is below the pipe or the gap, right? So that'll be our bird y, capital Y, plus our bird radius, and we're adding the bird radius here because we have the y and we're going down below it. You know what, let's put this in parentheses again just to keep it clear for us, right? That's going to be there. We're going to have another closing one, and we're going to have an opening if statement, curly bracket eventually, so let's go ahead and add it now. So that's the bird y plus the bird radius, so it's at the bottom. And then we're going to make sure, well, we're going to check to see if this is greater than the pipe dot, or pipe 0 dot height plus the pipe gap. Yeah? And so if we are within the bounds on the x and we are within the bounds on the y, we want to collision, right? So we could have a function here called like restart, but well, yeah, let's just do that. This seems like it's a lot right now. I feel like I've written a lot of code. I mean, I haven't really. I've written like 3 lines and an if statement. But I feel like I've written a lot of code, and I want to make sure that this code is working properly. And so let's do this console.log. I like doing console.log, and we're gonna go collision. That might be enough. That'll tell us that we hit, right? So yeah, let's run that. Well, let's set this up to run it. First, let's inspect. Now we have our console, right? Oh, we already have a syntax error. That's from the last time we ran it. This is, let me make sure things are properly on the screen. Yeah, we got a little bit of a sliver there. I wonder if I can adjust the size of this. Can I adjust the size of this? That's better. Can I adjust this? I want to see everything coming towards me. This is going to be, okay, let's try that. Let's run it. Let's click into here. Okay, so that's the whole screen. Looks like looks like it said collision right there. That's cool. Okay, we made it through without getting a collision. Let's just run through this. Collisions. Okay, that is good. That is good. That's great. Okay, fantastic. Let's see if it's working on the bottom. Collision. That number right there by collision is going up, right? That means that it's had 250 collisions so far, and it looks like it's stopping as well. And if I go through the middle, it looks like it's not hitting the middle, and that's great news. So, okay, it looks like if I hit from underneath, we still get good. We still get good. That's beautiful English, Stephen. Okay, so looks like I'm doing collisions just fine. All of my beautiful math is working out, and hopefully you've enjoyed having the graphics on the screen as well. This makes sense to me, but we were talking about like not just saying collision. We want to, let's go ahead and close that. What we actually want to do here, let's adjust this a little bit over to that way. Let's see if that's still on the screen. That's still on the screen. We've still got one line here. We actually don't need to console.log that. We actually want to call a new function. Call it restart, right? Restart. Okay, perfect. And now we just need a function called restart. This seems like a good place as any to put a function called restart right before the function called update. We can put our functions kind of anywhere we want, as long as they're not inside of other people's functions. Some programming languages require that the function be defined, which is to say that's like created before it's called. JavaScript doesn't really care too much. So here's my function restart, and what I would like to do, we talked about there were like 3 things I needed to do, right? I need to clear the pipe array. I need to I need to put the ball back to its starting spot, and I need to maybe reset gravity. Okay, that's good. Let's do one of these things at a time. So we're going to clear the pipe array. Well, let's look at what we're doing with pipes up here. So here's our function draw pipe. We'll draw pipes, right? Here's our for loop. It's going through each of the lengths or each of them, and it is pushing on new ones, and it is shifting. So we can also, so the shift removes it from the beginning of the array. We could also do a pop, which removes it from the end of the array. So if we do a little for loop just like this, var I equals, that for the length of it, and instead of doing all of this stuff, we just do a pipe.pop. It'll pop all of them off, right? So let's do that. I'm trying to see if I can get that line on the screen when I type it down here. It doesn't look like I can. So it's going to be 4. Ooh. Yeah, you know what? Let's bring it up here. 4. There we go. Var I equals 0. And then we're going to go as I is less than pipe dot length. And I'm not sure if I need the parentheses there, but and then we're going to go I++. That is a very for loopy for loop. Let's double check here. Did we get that? We don't need the parentheses there, so we can get rid of those parentheses. Everything else looks good about that though. Let's get rid of those parentheses. And now inside of this, we can just do pipe dot pop, and that is going to need the parentheses, I'm sure of it. So there's our for loop. All the pipes are gone. So let's run this, yeah, and let's run into it. Hold on, let's get us a couple of them on the screen, and then bloop. Okay, so everything died, which is interesting. Let's inspect it. What just happened here? We have a console. We have an error. Cannot read property X of undefined. Well, that's because we cleared them all. There is no there's no more array called pipe. So we actually need to set up a new, after this for loop, we need to have a pipe 0 equals, is it a new pipe? No, it's a make pipe. All right, let's do that. So after we get rid of all of our pipes, then we can make a new 0 pipe, and hopefully it won't freeze the game anymore and things will be just fine. So let's go through. Okay, so that is still interesting. Looks like we've frozen the game. Let's inspect this one more time. Console cannot read property draw pipe of undefined. So I wonder what is happening here. It looks like it's on line 898, which doesn't tell me anything. I know where draw pipe is. It's happening at draw pipes. It's happening at the update. It's happening in the step. Okay, so that's disappointing. Okay. Well, let's think. Think. Let's see. This is make pipe. New make pipe. Oh, you know what? Pipe.push new make pipe. That could be a thing too. We could just put in a new make pipe. Can I do new make pipe? Well, how are we setting it up here? Oh yeah, new make pipe. I need the cool keyword new right here. So that is, where am I at here? Right here, my restart function. And I can't just do make pipe. I need to do a new make pipe. Let's run this. And let's see if we can go through that first one. Oh, you know what? I hit it. But, oh, good. This is great. This is great news. So when I kill it, when I run into it, a new pipe just sort of appears out there in the distance. This is nice. This is sort of what I want. But I want, like, what if, well, I want the ball to be reset as well, right? I don't want to just continue flying. I want the ball to be reset as well. So this little section right here seems to be clearing the pipe array and making a new pipe. There might be a better way to do this, but this is working. We're happy with it. So now we need to put the ball back to its starting point. So really, let's look at the ball variables here. It's called bird. Our bird X is never really changing. Our bird Y starts at 75 and then it changes a bunch, right? Now we can set it just bird Y to 75 down here, right? Let's do that. Bird Y equals 75. Now, here's the thing. We are using 75 here, right? That means that if we change the starting position of our bird Y, it won't remember the starting position down here. It might be effective for us to think of this as another variable, right? Having a bird Y start, right? Or even having a function like a make pipe. We could have a function like a make bird, right? Where all of the bird things are happening, and we can, well, going a little crazy. I thought about playing this game with multiple birds. I don't want to do that. I'm all right with just remembering 75 right now. So let's go ahead and start this. We're going to run it in to there, and this is good. Let's see. And as soon as we hit it, yep, starts at the top again. Great. So now this is the fun part. I'm going to let this fall for a little bit, and we can see that as this is falling, or as this is going, like we hit it, it detects the collision no matter how far it's going, but that bird is just disappearing. It is just super fast right now. And let's see if I can slow it down a little bit. I'm just tapping on the space bar right now. Oh, okay. So now it was going up. It looks like it's still going up a little bit. Okay, sweet. So that is interesting. Looks like our gravity isn't being reset, which is kind of disappointing. Again, it goes really quick, right? And if I try and slow it down, now it's kind of going up. And I don't want my gravity being like changing like that, right? Like that would be super annoying. So what I want is just the gravity be reset. And here's my gravity, var gravity equals 1. And again, it's starting over at 1 every, well, we can make it start over, right? Reset gravity. So we just make gravity equals 1. And if we do this, then when we run this, we can just let it hit it on the bottom there, and it looks like it's falling nicely. And it's not getting any faster. Let's see if we can go up. And let's see if we can go up. And it looks like no matter how fast I'm going up, the gravity is restarting at 1 every time. So now we have collision detection. We have a situation where we are definitely, you know, going through these happy little pipes, but it's not exactly counting the number of pipes that we make it through, right? It would be cool to be able to count the number of pipes, to have a score, right? So let's take a 2-minute break. I'll start a new video and we'll add a score. All right, thank you.